Well, I picked myself up a laptop. It's a Toshiba Satellite L350. It came with the cord, the charger, and just the laptop. So I mean, that's basically what laptops come with. And the guy said that it works, so I'm gonna just plug it in. I took his word for it because I don't know why I took his word for it, but I did. He said that the cord, where the cord plugs in, is kind of cracked. So I'm going to probably tear it apart later if it works and just check that, see what's wrong with it. So let's plug her in and see if, well, the lights come on. So that's a good sign. And I bought this for 20 bucks. He said that he didn't need it anymore. His mom gave him a Mac, and he didn't want to deal with this issue here, so he just wanted to get rid of it. So 20 bucks. The specs aren't that great, and it's got Windows Vista on it, but I don't care. I just want a laptop that I can surf the internet on when I'm sitting on the couch and stuff, so I don't have to be on the desktop. So let's hit the power button and see what happens. Well, we have some action here, so hopefully it'll boot into the OS. Okay, Windows error recovery. Let's just go for start normally. Did I hit the wrong button? I hit the wrong button. So this is a 17-inch laptop. Got the full number pad on it and stuff. There's one key missing, and if there's not too many issues and that plug issue's not a big deal, then I'm going to buy a key online. Seems maybe the trackpad doesn't work. Not a big deal, I don't care, I'll use a mouse. I have a wireless mouse that I can use, so. Oh goodness. Well, I guess I'm going to have to throw a disk in it. I have a disk, I can get past that password, so it's not a big deal. Alrighty, so I have Hiren's boot CD here, and I'm just going into the BIOS right now, and I'll choose to boot from the DVD burner. Let's see here, how do you change values? Change values with F8. Alright, so I have it set to boot from the CD, so I guess I should put it in here. Hopefully it works. Guess maybe I should have tried. Actually, I couldn't try that before. There. Okay, so now F10, and we'll save and quit. Let's see if she'll boot from Hiren's boot CD. Well, I'm booted into this thing, and I'm not on Vista. I'm actually on something called Mini XP, and that was included in that Hiren's boot CD. So, a couple issues I confirmed is the trackpad doesn't work. I'm thinking somebody might have had this apart, and they screwed up and didn't hook back up the trackpad, because nothing works on it. The clicky buttons don't work or nothing. But I have this wireless mouse, and as you can hopefully see, it's working. So now I'm on here just checking through some files, and I found a whole bunch of music, so I'm going to take all that music and transfer it to a memory card and put it on my computer. So that's pretty much where I am on this thing right now. And so far, the cracked, I don't really know what's cracked. I didn't take a good look at it, but whatever is cracked here doesn't seem to be causing any issues. I think probably the biggest reason he got rid of this is because the trackpad doesn't work, and probably because of that too, and the missing 3. But anyway, not a big deal. I'm going to buy a 3 for that. Yeah, like I said, I'll tear it apart, see if I can get the trackpad working. Not that I really care, because I usually use a mouse anyway, but it would be nice to have everything working on it. I took all the screws out of the bottom, took out all the other stuff like the battery, the hard drive, the RAM, and the DVD burner. Now I'm getting ready to take this thing apart. So the screws are all out of the top of the keyboard, and I should be able to just flip the keyboard up, I think. Nope, there's something else. There's something else, and I don't want to break anything. Oops. Okay, there's something else holding this son of a bitch in there. Huh. That is weird. Alright, I'm gonna come back when I figure this stupid thing out. I don't know what I was doing wrong, but all of a sudden it popped out. So there was a little something holding it. So we'll throw that over there. And I found out something, 2 somethings actually, that I kind of figured when I turned this thing on. And one is that they unhooked the trackpad and they didn't hook it back up. So that's a good thing. I was hoping that was the problem and there wasn't something broken. And the other thing is right here. They unhooked the speakers and they didn't hook those back up. So that's our sound problem. Or at least I think that's the speakers. Maybe they foobarred the cable. That's why they didn't hook it up. Because it looks a little floppy right there on the end. So yeah, that's probably what they did. And we will take this apart and clean out this shit. I'm gonna have to try to somehow test that fan to make sure it's working. So anyway, there's a few screws to take out here. Let's see, I don't see too damn many. Probably take out the Wi-Fi card, that modem. Don't really need a modem nowadays, but anyway, take that out. I'll put it back in. So yeah, I'm gonna get cracking on this and get this shit done. Alrighty, so I got this cover off here, the palm rest, or it's pretty much ready to come off. And I just wanted to show you guys a little trick. Instead of putting something in here in between the seam and prying up on it and making a mess and possibly breaking something, if you have a iPhone or iPod repair kit and you get one of these suction cups with it, just stick it down on the plastic here and pull up on it. And that's what I did, and it popped right apart. So be careful though, because there could still be cables and stuff like that, wires and stuff still hooked up, but if you're careful, go for it. Well, 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 just as I suspected. Somebody had this, well, obviously somebody had it apart, but they had it apart enough that right here, where the power cord plugs in, they have a little piece of tape trying to hold that thing down in there. And I'm going to try to fix that sucker, because it is a little floppy, but there's nothing actually wrong with the cord itself. And I have to unhook it anyway. So there's the connection. So I gotta unhook that. And I have to unhook these two things right here. One, I think, is part of the Wi-Fi antenna system, and the cable for the LCD. And what else? I guess that looks like pretty much it. Oh, whatever this is. Where's that go? Oh, webcam. So, gotta be real careful with some of these, because sometimes you can rip the little connector right off the motherboard if you're not careful. So, time to get cracking. Stop recording, because I have a Canada Day parade to go to. Probably about 10 o'clock, so I better put the camera down and get cracking. Well, I have the CPU fan disconnected. I took the screws out, there's two of them, and I'm just going to flip it over. And let's see if there's any dust bunnies in there. I'm thinking there probably will be. Well, it's not as bad as I thought, but there is one big one right there. Well, it's not quite as bad as I thought it was going to be. So that's pretty good. And I have some new thermal paste. I'm going to take the heat sink off and put new thermal paste on. May as well while I have this thing all apart. No sense in going half-assed at it. Yeah, there's why I wanted to check it. And check to see if I needed new thermal paste, because that stuff there's pretty dried out. So I think it's going to help the computer quite a lot. And there's like a thermal, what do you call that stuff? It's not thermal paste, it's a thermal, I can't remember what you call it, but there's no thermal paste on the GPU, so I'm going to leave that alone. Alrighty, so I get this Toshiba L350 up and running. It's all factory restored. Everything works except for the trackpad and these multimedia buttons up here. The speakers were just a matter of plugging back in the little connector on the motherboard, because whoever took it apart just didn't hook anything back up. I think probably they got frustrated when they ruined those two flex cables. So it's actually a really good working laptop, other than these two issues here. And I did manage to fix this problem with the DC jack. What they did was they tried to use super glue, and super glue is a little bit too I don't know how you would describe it, but it's not really the right thing for a job like that. And when I took this apart, I did confirm that there is nothing at all wrong with the actual jack and the functionality of it. So what I did was I took some hot melt glue and I just glued the sucker in there. There's tons of space in that cavity, so it didn't get in the way of anything, and it worked perfectly fine, so it's not a big deal. I'm not going to replace it just for the sake of replacing something like that. Putting the new thermal paste on made all the difference in the world. Before you couldn't even really touch that, it was so damn hot, and it even got hot up here on the top, so it wasn't quite as bad as the bottom, but it was pretty hot. And now it doesn't get hot at all. I can use this thing all day, and you can touch it and you can just barely feel the heat, so it did make a pretty big difference. And yeah, so that's pretty much it.